So looking at it, it's online teaching versus online training then.
So
just say online teaching versus online training, go. That's kind of how we want to do it.
All right, go, Brian. You can be the introducer.
Well, if I can do it again then. So online teaching versus online training. What are your thoughts, Andy?
Well, obviously they're two different things, aren't they? So if you're teaching someone online, that's going to be a lot harder than actually training. So you can lead a training session. And if we split out to adults and kids as well, you shouldn't, I don't think you should really be trying to teach or train kids as such at home. You can lead a lesson for kids, I'd say. But actually teaching people is a lot harder. So you couldn't substitute regular class, I don't think, with online training. Potentially, if that person had a lot of experience with you and you're teaching one-on-one, that is doable. But I think it's more, especially in the situation we are now, bridging a gap until we come out the other side.
Yeah. I don't think, I mean, you can't replace being in a room with somebody with being online. But teaching at home, I've thought there are things I could do to teach at home that I think would work reasonably well. But you've got to bear in mind my youngest student is 52. So there's a level of understanding there. So if you're doing it one-on-one, I use the term loosely because I've seen a lot of people in their 50s.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean anything having seen some of the videos online.
Yeah, but you see, again, I go the other way, that I could teach something online to my people because of the age and the stuff we do. But I wouldn't lead an online training session for them because, again, it's exactly the same thing. People in their 50s and above, if they can't self-motivate and get off their backside to do stuff themselves, then me standing at the other end of the camera, pouncing about, jumping about, doing stuff, isn't really a motivational tool, I don't think. You know, they have to take a level of responsibility.
Right.
Now, I think that's massively different if you're teaching children.
Yeah, I've done a bit of both then. So I've done a bit of online training because I've been doing live streaming for children. So that is just to follow along class stuff that they've done before. I'm not teaching them anything new. I don't think I could. Not children. I think it'd be really, really difficult to be able to do that online, to teach something new. So it is follow along. It's follow along cardio, karate, you know, it's just fun stuff that they have done in the dojo, key on that they've done in the dojo, but I'm not able to correct what they're doing. So it's done, any kata training or anything like that, it's done at a very, very slow pace for them to try and follow along. I put links to, there's a little group that we've got for the kids class. So we put links to their kata, so it's relevant to them so they can follow along and learn. Been quite impressed that two beginners did learn. One of them is only 7 years old maybe, so he's learned half of ki on kata from a video. The form wasn't great, but he's learned the pattern. So hopefully when we get back to the dojo, he's got the hard bit, he's learned the pattern, so we can correct the form unless it's ingrained. Shit form's ingrained already, then they've got a problem. His older brother, who's about 9, went through the whole of ki on kata, you know, just by learning it from the online training, following along what I've done, and YouTube videos. The teaching, I've got an adult group that we do Zoom, so it's more, you know, we can talk to each other, we can correct faults. Again, it's very difficult though, I find, because you've got camera angles which affect things. So the other day we was doing backside eye, and it was a relatively new kata for somebody, and I was saying, oh, you know, your fist needs to be in line with your shoulder for your uchi-uki. It was going, well, it is, but the angle that I was looking at him from, it didn't look like it at all, you know. So
well, yeah, see, that's where I think it's difficult if you're doing a group situation. I think you can break things down sufficiently if you're doing one-on-one teaching. There are obviously limitations to that. There are things you can't do, but for the visual aspects of form and learning pattern, learning positioning, I think if you've got the time to do a one-on-one session, I suspect that it's probably going to take you 3 or 4 times as long to cover the same material that you would do on a face-to-face basis.
Definitely, yeah.
I think just for learning a pattern, I think people would pretty much do that without you.
Yeah,
They could. They could.
Probably easier than you trying to teach it to them.
I think you're probably right, because it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, look at this Kanazawa video. Copy in.
I could have just said, "Here's a link to Basside Eye. Fuck off." But
Yeah,
it's quite nice. It's quite nice to see them and socialise with them as well. But I did find it harder actually teaching. Going through it with a group on Zoom because they all had their own little problems with it. You're trying to help everybody, and it's quite difficult. And this is only a small group that I'm trying to teach Basside Eye too. You know what I mean? And we did the same with Kankadai, and I think that broke down over 3 Zoom sessions, and we kind of just about got through the kata. Whether that student went back and watched the lessons that we done and picked up, well, it remains to be seen when we get back to the dojo. So,
see, this is where I think your private member area possibly would work better for that, although people have to be open to criticism. Is because I standardise on the Kanazawa versions of the videos anyway, because that's what I was brought up with. So if anybody wants a pattern, rather than me filming it for them, I say, go and look at that, learn that. And then video yourself, you put it on a public or a private group page, but you put it on a page, and then people can look at your performance and just feedback detail. Whereas trying to do it live and online, I think is probably harder than doing it in retrospect.
I think the live and online is probably more for that club feel to feel
it's the social interaction side of it.
It definitely is.
Tonight,
I think the teaching it is really forms. That's the most you can do. We've done solo focus mitt drills. We've done drills with belts. I've seen some interesting ones since I've done my first, since I posted my first YouTube belt video. Yeah, there's some corkers out there now. No, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. This is still teaching. So we're teaching drills through that to help.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You're not having a one-on-one interaction when you're doing that. When you're filming training drills, then that's exactly what you're doing. People can look at them exactly as if they were going to go away and look at a Kanazawa video of a form and say, okay, Brian's doing this drill. I can sit there and watch the video and I can play with that at home in my own time.
To be fair, yeah.
One of the things that I think people are missing out on here, and it depends on their syllabus. So our syllabus has got a quiz part to it, or whatever you want to put, some knowledge-based parts to all of the gradings. And we've got, as you know, essays later on. But for the earlier ones, it's just a verbal knowledge test. So each grade has got something else. So we're having a class tonight where we're just going to start talking through them a bit. So we get the social interaction, we'll be able to take the piss out of each other, and they'll all be learning stuff they need for their syllabus. And then I just tend to piss off and do their own physical stuff because I don't want to see their shoddy forms in my house. So yeah, we're going to get the club together for that. So I'm going to have a chat. We're going to talk through them, starting from the bottom and going through, so some of the lower grades can learn some of that. Some of the high grades I can, as such, test on their knowledge.
So really, we're saying online teaching or online teaching is more of the social aspect, because you could really go away and you don't need your sensei online, do you? It is more the social aspect, I think. For what people are learning online is, like I say, it's got to be form, hasn't it? It's forms. Going through your basic drills. If you're doing line work, you would do you'd be able to do that in your own house. So I think we don't need it.